Blog Talk Radio.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. We have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
George Bush has invoked a new world order without enunciating a new American purpose.
Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order, and instead it looks like we got a lot of disorder.
Today we take an essential step in defeating terrorism while protecting the constitutional rights of all Americans. Preventing mass terror will be the responsibilities of presidents far into the future.
The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. These are not simply words written into aging parchment. They are the foundation of liberty and justice in this country.
This is an ideological battle. Some people believe in globalism, others of us believe in national sovereignty. It's a contest between ideologies, whether we believe in our institutions here, our national sovereignty, our Constitution, or are we going to further move in the direction of international government? It's just knowledge is out there. If we look for it, you'll realize that our national sovereignty is under threat.
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
All right, everybody. How you doing? Joseph Gibson here, broadcasting from Greensboro, North Carolina. I'll keep it short. Our host tonight is going to be Mandlelkhan. I programmed the show. He's going to get to talk here tonight, and I'm going to ask everyone, callers, after he does his thing, we'll take callers, of course. But try to stay to the issue at hand and no crosstalk. I mean, we always welcome everyone's opinions, but I really like to hear more facts than opinions all the time. But like I said, we give everyone a voice here on this program. That is the platform here I always promote. However, but tonight the person in charge is going to be Mandlelkhan. So we don't want to hear any arguing or stuff like that. If you want to address him or comment on what he has to say or the issues that he brings forward, that's fine. You can do that. and the show will carry on. And if you don't get a chance to talk or don't feel like you've got to have your say, then, we broadcast on Sundays and Thursdays. And on Thursday, we'll open up the phone lines. Sunday, we always do, and we can talk about anything and everything. Before I go real quick here, all the zombies out there watching the NFL that don't want to tune in tonight, by the way, the NFL and the referees, they chose the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. So it wasn't the players and it wasn't you, the fan, that's paying $20 for a hot dog, okay? So anyway, without further ado, let's bring on Mandlelkhan, and he can talk, and then it's up to him when he wants to take callers. So we're going to give him the floor here tonight as promised. I'm a man of my word. And let's connect him. So, Mandlelkhan, go ahead. You go ahead and speak, my friend, as long as you want here tonight.
Yes, sir. Much love, much respect to each and every one of you. We know that it's something that we all have to get together and do in this Super Bowl of life. And I have to say, roar, roar, roar. It's our time now. There can be no more waiting. And in this Super Bowl of life, I have a right to talk this way because I can prove what I'm saying, and so can you. If you're not Helen Keller, Jose Feliciano, Ray Charles, and Stevie Wonder, and you can see what's actually going down on the ground in your local county, city, state, federal, municipality, you'll know that we are the ones collectively that we have been waiting for. So we have an exciting program, and I'm going to say that this is the hardest-hitting communication network and the hardest-hitting interaction from TV and radio. And I definitely wouldn't say it if it wasn't so. And you judge it by what you see. And you don't judge a book by its cover. You judge the night by the lover. And let me explain what I just said. You might look at a person and think that you know them when you don't. And then when you interact with them, the only way you'll know if they mean you any good is on how you physically interact with each other. So never judge a book by the cover. You judge the night by the lover. And I don't mean laying down and having commingled interaction with each other as we so much like to do to get a release and then come back to the same cruel world. So we have an exciting program as we interact with each other, as we announce the People's Court of Class Action 567. I am the judge. Each and every one of you are the jurors. And wherever the jurors, the government, the people's government, the people are the government, and the government is not the people. Wherever the jurors want to go from here on January 20th, 2019, that is the final decree. Whatever happened from the Genesis, I don't know who was there. We all know we wasn't, but it's all of this is fell on our shoulders. So now we fast forward to this revolutionary revelation based on the sign of the times in which we live in today. That's why I have a right to talk to you this way. And you also have a right to talk to me the way you want to talk to me. So for those who are listening, alert your friends in your network, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Hit them up right now. Tell them to get in and listen to this shit right here. This is what we're talking about right here. And on FCC, radio and TV, BET, you won't get one sentence of what we go through, you and me and you tonight. That shows that television is a lie. Television. There's nothing real on television. It's all staged, activated, orchestrated, and presented to get an impulse of us, the people, black, brown, red, yellow, and white, old, young, gay, straight alike. It is television to feed you programming, to impulse you to go out into your municipality to act out, to see if you can have a television relationship. Television relationships are not real. Just like Facebook relationships, they're really basically not real until you meet the person on the ground and you interact with them. So most of us don't know each other on social media. Of course, we will cuss, fuss, kick up some dust, and attempt to start a damn riot with each other if we say one sentence or one word that we don't like. But the good thing is that none of you know me, and I don't know you. But what we do know is that we are in serious trouble based on crisis, hardship, and state of emergency. And if anybody that can open their mouth today, black, brown, red, yellow, and white, old, young, gay, straight alike, and not say that we are in serious, serious trouble unless we change, this is the change, not that we can believe in, a change that we know we must conceive in. So you have to be Helen Keller, Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, and Jose Feliciano if you don't see that we are in crisis, hardship, state of emergency based on the wall in America, the government shutdown, and that's why this emergency preparedness is necessary for every one of us to take part in, because this is the bloodless revolution. There is plans right now, martial law. There are plans right now for civil war. There are plans right now for a race war. My assignment from birth was to avert that, and that is your assignment as well. So we won't get into any kind of interaction in the world. What you feel, think, or believe about me, this is not about me. Let's get off the micro plan. Micro is when you think about me and my family and me and my people. The macro plan is the whole earth under the Creator. And the macro plan is to bring in live and let live in one love. Currently, we all speak in the micro plan, kill or be killed. If you don't do what I say, I'm on my way. And if I don't like what you're doing, I'm going to kill you. We honestly think that we are supposed to take each other's life in a time of great strife. We honestly feel, believe, think, and have an opinion that this is the right thing to do. Kill or be killed. This is the reality we are confronted with. It has nothing to do with the truth. The real reality is live and let live in one love. That's what the Creator is. My hands call for love. Without further ado, I just want to run down a few things, and I want everybody, I'm not going to say anything that will hurt you, even if you don't agree with what I'm going to bring forth. As long as you bring it in a manner that shows that you are thinking. Because my assignment was to shake you up before I wake you up, to help you remember what you forgot. And I'm telling you, we all forgot what we are supposed to be doing as human beings, as people. Just like flowers, they know what they're supposed to be doing. Trees know what they're supposed to be doing. Animals know what they're supposed to be doing. The only people who is killing Mother Earth, the water, the ozone, is human beings, the worst life forces on the planet. So we forgot. That's why everyone on the planet is failing the test and cannot get to the universes of the universes, to the heavens, and so forth and so on. So without further ado, I'm going to get a blessing and the pledge. Blessed are the mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and their warring factions worldwide, for they are the true entitlers and inheritors of Mother Earth's precious, precious resources. And I'm so glad, privileged, and honored that Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Mother Indigenous America, Mother Universe, Mother Uterus, Mother Nature, it's not nice to fool with the son of Mother Nature, and Mother Africa produce and preserve a wretch like me. Right? That's the blessing to every mother on the planet. And I dare a man or a woman to say, look, he didn't try to say that he was going to bring forth and make things happen for all of us. That's what that blessing is. Now, the pledge, because I know many of you have pledged allegiance to the Confederate flag. Many of you have pledged allegiance to the red, white, and blue, the most vicious symbol of this thing called live and let live. It don't exist as long as the eagle can fly all over the planet and just drop like pigeons. You know, pigeons drop a lot of shit, right? Like airplanes and all that. They drop a lot of stuff. So if the eagle can travel all over the planet and then say, look, I got the power of life and death on the planet Earth, then somebody got to say, wait a minute, hold on. You got a constitution eagle, and so does everybody else. But if your eagle can do with its constitution to us with our constitution, then no one has a constitution that's legal. That's what I'm saying. So here's the pledge. When y'all put this pledge of your Confederate flag, put your pledge of the red, white, and blue. Match this. Blessed are the mothers. That's the blessing. Now, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of Africa, the red, black, and green. And on behalf of the matriarch, we put gold. Red, black, green, and gold in 2019. And to the international republic for which she stands under the Creator. One international nation under Mother Goddess, Mother Earth, Mother Indigenous, to recall, reclaim, reacquire all of her articles and assets for all of us and all of those who help us. Equal protection under her laws. No one is going to be without once the overturning of a rotten, filthy social system under the Masonic order of the patriarch, and we call the Ethiopian empire of the matriarch. That was my assignment from birth, and to do it without firing a shot. Can y'all imagine the vision? Now, if we could just think, vision, where there is no vision, the people perish. We all speak in social media, but most of us speak on what we see going down today, after it's been staged, activated, orchestrated, and prevented. But when it comes to forward thinking of a vision on how to bring us out of crisis, hardship, and state of emergency, that conversation is not there. That is why I'm here, to help everyone remember what they forgot. So I want to go fast forward to some things that we were in the information base about a war as a civil war. Many people think that there's going to be something like that. Many people believe that there's going to be a race war. Many people believe that there's going to be martial law. And if you look at actually what's going down as it relates to the government shutdown, you can clearly see that things can get out of control in the first 48 hours quickly. I'm telling you, there's plans that if things get out of control in 10 hours, all of the municipalities in this country will be on total lockdown from sun up to sundown with the order to shoot and kill. Do you hear what I just said? I'm going to say it again. Under martial law, from sun up to sundown, if it's declared, and you can clearly see that someone is pushing the dial to make something big happen, either something big that's going to be so horrifying you're going to forget about every war you ever went into, or something so great that you're going to realize that heaven is on earth. It was all in your mind all along. Free your mind, and your ass won't be far behind. Now, having said that, now, we know that the government is shut down, but it's not shut down because the Democrats, Republicans, the Green Party, they're all getting paid in some form or fashion, right? The corporations, everybody's getting paid. But who's being threatened? The workers and poor peasants. And when I say workers and poor peasants, let me break this down, not on race, but on class. That's why Class Action 567 has defeated the federal government. There are 80% of workers and poor peasants, black, brown, red, yellow, and white. Old, young, K-Street alike. There's 18% of so-called middle class that's shrinking fast and furiously, 18%. Then there's 2% of the elite ruling class. Do you see there's 100% of people that's participating in their own genocide, their own atrocities and war crimes? So if the government, which is not the government shutdown, it's the legislature and the corporations who's shutting this country down to create hardship, crisis, and state of emergency on us, we the people, by the people, for the people. And don't blame this on Donald Trump. I'm not going to let you blame it on Barack Insane Obama. Good cop, bad cop. It's the system, stupid. It's the system. So it's not no boogeyman. I'm going to be the boogeyman tonight, and I'm going to take the emphasis off both of those two men because I know that for 8 years that Barack Insane Obama was there, me and my people, we was being slaughtered all over the planet. And everybody was saying, well, wait, he going to do something. He going to do something. Yes, he did. He set the stage for Adam and Steve. If y'all go look at the books of the dead, the Bible, Torah, and the Quran, under the Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Muslims, and Christians. You notice I said Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Muslims. And then I said Christians, right, because I know this is a Christian station, a Christian nation, God, country, guns, right? So I'm saying that this thing that we look at when it comes to the books of the dead, Adam and Steve was not recorded. But Barack Insane Obama brought in Adam and Steve. It's Adam and Eve, right? We don't, under revolutionaries, we don't honor those books of the dead. Because the book is how we got free. I'm the author of that story, you and me, how we get free, right? So those books, they brought you into where you are now, where God is going to kill everybody on the planet unless God has his way. But now we got a new day because we're in the sign of times in which we live. So when you look at the government shutdown, we the people, by the people, for the people, we're the only ones who have the authorization to shut them down when we know that tyrants are dictating policy to us in the municipality where we are under hardship, crisis, and state of emergency, where the allocations and appropriations and the budgets are being diverted away from us into a war machine and then have the audacity to threaten us for sustenance at this late date when there's a great deal of budgets that's being appropriated and misapplied and just squandered under, we call it monopoly, corruption, and greed of the social system itself. I won't even discuss what the system is, but I just want to put that on there, which is the government shutdown. Because whoever's going along with this, and they've told you to look, we're going to give you some scans, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, we're going to give you this for the next 2 months, but we don't know what might happen in the future. But let me tell all of those. Every legislature, you are on notice to either be the representative of the people, and you better switch before you arrest one. If not, every legislature from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California must be arrested on behalf of treason, insubordination, what's another one I can bring up? Treason, insubordination, perjury, and sedition for telling a lie to serve and protect us, the people, should a great catastrophic event take place that puts us into a terrible situation. Now, what am I talking about? Let me talk about some FEMA camps and guillotines. Many of you don't know, and I had a sister from Texas that after I put my communication in her sector, she said, well, there was a overturning of a tractor trailer, and it looked like coffins that were black. They could fit 3 or 4 bodies. Is that what you're talking about? And another general said, yes, that's exactly, because they are all over. I've seen some. So what I'm saying to you that there are FEMA camps. There are 30,000 guillotines. So whoever is captured under martial law or under race war or under civil war, you're not going to go and get 3 hots in a cot. You're not going to go say, well, if you're going to spend 3 to 5 years playing basketball and, going to the library and playing with your television and shit. 30,000 guillotines saying that, look, whoever's captured behind enemy lines this time, they're going to chop your goddamn head off. And I say that emphatically. Don't worry about me a little cussing. Y'all better look at the cursing. It is actually true that there are FEMA camps all over this country already staffed. They have a working infrastructure for when all hell breaks loose. It won't be like Spike Lee's movie Do the Right Thing, which was really Do the Wrong Thing. It won't be like the riots of 68, 69, or 1919. It ain't going to be like that. Those 30,000 guillotines, what do you think is going to happen with them 30,000 guillotines and those coffins that can fit no less than 3 bodies in them? This is truthful, right? So that's one thing that you have to deal with. And then the third thing is the wall in the Americas. Now, I want y'all to go back and study history. There's some on this line that say, well, look, Barack Obama got a wall. Well, that's his so-called private property. So if he want a wall around his so-called private property, I can't dispute that at this time, even though you don't have no right to Mother Earth's resources against the people. When someone says that, well, we got a right to put a wall up in the Americas, your ass is blunt. I'm going to tell you why. In this thing called water, blood, and commodities, Doctors Without Borders is a thing that we can all talk about right now today, because there is a group that goes all over the world to try, as they say, doctors, but doctors don't cure nothing. They treat symptoms. Doctors Without Borders is the title that I'm trying to go with. We have to be in the Americas. Since the eagle goes everywhere in everybody's nation, with a wall or without a wall, they're going to bomb the shit out of everybody that looks African or indigenous or Arab or in Latin America or whoever. And, they're going to bomb Iran. Right? So they're going to do that with or without a wall. But here's the problem with the wall. The problem with a wall in America, that's why we say, hell no, we won't go, there won't be no wall in America, is the fact that some people say, well, they're not trying to keep the Mexicans out or the South Americans out. They're trying to keep us in. Okay, so what if both scenarios are correct? And we'll say that both scenarios are correct. But can you imagine and envision American people flying over a wall, going down south to think they're going to get some tortillas and enchiladas and have some sex with the Mexicans or the children and women and boys, right? Can you imagine going down to Costa Rica Salvador Bahia, Rio de Janeiro, and just think he's going to eat some of that cuisine and go to Jamaica, eat some curry goat and some yaki and all that, and saltfish and some, plantains, and just have sex with the women too. You think you're going to fly over that wall and wave your American flag and you're going to have a wall to where people are going to have a hardship crisis state of emergency trying to get to America? Do you think y'all going to have that same relationship that you had before you went to Cancun on your spring break? Hell no. It ain't going to happen that way, y'all. We have to avert this wall for two reasons. One, it's unethical and immoral. Now, we have a way that we can interact with each other, because many of you don't know that Utah, California, New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, a whole bunch of other states is known as Ashland from down south of Texas, or better known as California, Khalifa. You ever heard of Khalifa? Look it up. She's a real woman. And it was said that she made a deal with the Europeans that, look, y'all can have some land to make sure that you and your people are all right. But then they did something else and took over, so forth and so on. So when you look at where Mexico is, I dare you to Google where Mexico really is, and you'll see that it is not south of Texas. It is not. I don't care who say they won a war, from the Civil War, the American Revolutionary War, whatever, World War I, World War II, or the thing of the Alamo, Pablo Villa and all that. Throw that in the trash. Because when I say Doctors Without Borders, we again must become the people without borders. So if we can't come to people without borders, it's only because of our selfish class interests. Selfish class interests under the microscope. So we think that in America, we only represent 5% of the people on the planet Earth. We honestly believe in our mind, body, and soul that we can do what we want to as the eagle against 95% of the people on the planet Earth, and everybody's going to be all right with the consequences, right? Wrong, geniuses. Wrong, Einsteins. It can't go down this way. History can't go down this way. Matter of fact, let me say this. The only good thing about the good old days of history is that they're dead and gone. There will be no 40 acres and a mule. There will be no reparations. There will be nothing. But on the first story, divine intervention, the big payback is in order. And what is the big payback? Who is going to benefit from the transition of power that you're speaking of, Mandlelkhan, in the Peoples Revlution? Who is going to benefit from it? Each and every one of us on the planet Earth who want a new deal. And the word new deal is not a bad thing. New deal, that's what we need, deal or no deal. What's behind door number one, door number two, door number three? Well, we know door number one is the wall. Door number two is the shutdown. Door number three is the bloodless revolution. Now, what door do you choose? We are a people of choices. Everyone has a choice to make. And you are responsible, no matter how you feel, for not just for yourself. You are responsible for everybody that you can interact with. A lot of people say, well, I don't need nobody. I just need myself. Okay, if that's the case, that's just like this thing called God. Now, you say, well, look, I pray all the time. I tell you what, if you pray for what you wanted, and if you really get what you want based on what you pray for, then it's real. Now, I dare any of us, because if you say you want to pray, and you tell us you come pray with us, and you get what you want, I'm going to come with you. But I know you're just speaking out the east end of a horse's ass. How do I know it? Because I know the people praying all over the planet Earth. They're praying, Praying, at the same time, sometimes 6 times a day. But when they get off their knees and on their feet, most people are Preying on each other internally, and not only themselves, but those outside the municipality and the jurisdiction on which they come. So I know, let me see, what time is it? Let me see. Oh, damn, that's less than a half hour. Anyway, let me get a few more minutes so I can run down and scroll down and see what I covered everything. Okay, I covered everything, and it's a new day. It's a new way. We all have to become children and rethink where we are right now without racism, bias, and prejudice. Yes. When I say we have to become children, most of us have been programmed to be racist, bias, and prejudice against our own selves, yes. And what we have to do is forget what we learned, and let's go forward so that we can SOS, save ourselves, save our soul, because we're headed for sure destruction, and there's no atomic bombs, no stealth bombers, or aircraft carriers that can save our asses now because we failed the test of the divine creator of the universe. You have to think bigger than where you are right now. So we almost forget where we are and start over again, and then begin to see people as equal and as partners, not in crime, but partners in time. And finally, before we open up these phones here, and everybody on the line, push one, get yourself in queue, and bring what you need to bring to the table, and bring everything that you need to the table. We rough, rugged, and raw. Ain't no enemies over here. We're frenemies right now. We're not permanent enemies. So get in queue, get online, be cordial, you speak the truth to power, say what you need to say, and if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Because I'm not right. Do all of us get freedom, justice, and total independence, and neither are you. That's what I know. I can prove what I'm saying. Now, I got a right to talk to you this way because I can prove what I'm saying. So my final piece here is the emergency preparedness in crisis, hardship, and state of emergency. Currently, as we speak, many people don't know that during the Russian Cold War, they used to have yellow and black signs outside of many buildings inside your municipality. There was a yellow sign, a black sign. It would tell you what buildings are there as triaged in a crisis, hardship, state of emergency. Triage means preparing the people so that they can be stable. Well, after the Cold War was over...
Real quick here, hang on, not to interrupt your thought, Mandlelkhan. The callers need to be patient. You're wrapping it up, and then the callers can join us, okay? So, because there were a bunch of callers on the line, and then they dropped. So, they just got to be patient. I know their phones are going off, and they're watching a football game or whatnot. But go ahead, finish. Just we'll take callers in about a couple minutes here. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Where we are now is that the Cold War is over. Now we're in a hot war. It's missiles, bullets, baseball bats, chains, and knives. It's hot war. And in that, we don't have an emergency prepared system in place on the ground in our local county, city, state, and federal municipalities. There is no government apparatus that even though they got FEMA camps and guillotines to come get your ass and do some damage to you, there really is no mechanism. I don't care what the Red Cross says. I don't care what FEMA says. There is no venue locally when people who did not prepare for things to come, there is no venue to keep people stable for 40 days and 40 nights in a time of great trouble. So from the mighty matriarch of the Ethiopian Empire, this is not a request, this is a demand, from the total recall of Class Action 567, we demand that everyone in their local county, city, state, and federal municipality, you get together with your little group, your little clique, your little gang. You get together with who's ever in your municipality, and you designate triage, life-giving, emergency prepared centers. That means that should all hell break loose, to all water go out or lights go out or whatever, you're not going to run out and try to snatch no pampers off no store shelves, no televisions. You're not going to run out and just ramage the food in the so-called Walmart or whatever it is, because once you run in there with Walmart, many of you ain't coming out. You don't know what I know, but you'll learn. Hopefully you don't. But the fact is this. The emergency prepared centers, some may have to be emergency treatment centers, like a little mini clinic, mini hospital, water stations, trauma, traumatic stations, a place of sanctuary and protection, from roving groups and whatever. In all the municipalities, there's buildings. There's community centers, there's churches, mosques, and synagogues. There are buildings that are uninhabited right now. There are a bunch of things that people can do to take control and set up emergency prepared centers in their local county, city, state, and federal municipality. Why is this so important? Who are you going to call when you're in trouble? Ghostbusters. That's who. But we are the people we've been waiting for, and we all need each other now. Time is a double thing away. So I'm going to shut it down right now on this opening convo, and I know that we have a plethora of people on the lines, and those who are on the lines listening, push one. Everyone, you will get your chance to say anything that you need to say relevant to the issue at hand, as far as what kind of food you're going to eat, and where you football game or who you like and who you don't like. This is not the segment for this. You can wait till next Thursday for that. Tonight, we want to stick strictly to the script of crisis, hardship, and state of emergency, and what we, the people, are going to do, and what plans or what could you do to help somebody, because we all need each other now. Time to tell what's taking away. So, Joe, without further ado, if there's anybody else on the line, you can start opening up the line. Thank you so much.
We'll start opening up the lines here, and tonight, of course, our guest here, I give everyone a voice on the program. Before I do, because we got plenty of time here, I want to promote Thursday's show, where we're going to have Dr. Peter Ventura on. We're going to have a theological discussion on Thursday. We're going to have somebody on from the Uranta movement, and we're going to talk theology, and we're going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to explain truth. And that's what this show is about, is explaining truth. I know Mandlelkhan, to reiterate what you said in your opening there, with Mother Earth and nature and everything, and and the women are around the world should be ruling the world and everything. You said anyone could disagree with you, or comment on the subject at hand. Mother Earth and everything. Exactly. And that the wall should not be built, and America doesn't have a right to build a wall. I mean, Germany has walls. They should. I mean, if they tear down their walls, I don't think that's really going to happen. But it's up to the people around the world. But then again, each country is a sovereign country, and however they got there, it is what it is now. And how are we going to address that? And why should we wait until martial law happens or emergency preparedness? Why aren't we taking care of each other now? Why do we have to wait for the government that's shut down for that to happen? Why aren't we helping each other out now? But let's take a caller that's been waiting a while here, a private caller, see what they have to say. And again, Thursday we're going to have a theological discussion, and we're going to talk about some of these issues. Actually, the Bible. I know men wrote that according to a lot of people, and none of it's true. Adam and Eve, and the creation of Earth, and what is the real truth, and what we believe in. If we're going to believe in ourselves, then we're only doing what history has taught us to believe in ourselves. So, and that hasn't worked, has it? All we're doing, and God, what God do you believe in? What right God do you believe in? And we're going to address that on Thursday, with facts, and you be the judge for yourself. But anyway, let's take the first private caller here. So hopefully, like I said, let's keep it civil. We're not going to talk over each other, see what happens. This is live radio, 100% live. And let's go with the first private caller. Go ahead, private caller, if you want to address the issues here that were brought forth in the first 30 minutes of the show. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Joseph, my friend, and Mr. Mandlelkhan, my friend. Regarding the national ID card is the internal passport for Americans. And whether you want to ride the bus, you have to show it. If you want to go to, of course, outside the country, you have to show that national ID card. And basically, everywhere you have to show it. You want to buy even car or anything else you want to buy, you have to show your national ID card. But right now, in Asia, in Europe, Canada, they already have national ID cards, and really nothing has happened to the extent, nothing we have seen to the extent that Mandlelkhan is saying, oh, national ID card is a mark of the beast, and etc. on your hand, microchipping. I mean, many corporations right now, they have microchipped their workers. So what? You want the job or you starve to death? Which one would you like? And there have been really nothing, no problem, no issues. So can you please elaborate?
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you mean? Go ahead, Mandela. Hang on. No, I'm asking you. I'm going to further what he's saying. Nothing has happened yet. And that's a part of the control scheme that you were saying in the beginning, the control scheme to control everybody. And the national ID card is not the mark of the beast. But I don't know. But go ahead, Mandlelkhan, you can address that. And if anyone else wants to stay on the topic here, they can call in and explain what the mark of the beast is. That would be awesome. But go ahead, Mandlelkhan. Why don't you try to explain that?
I'm going to speak truth to power. And I want him and you, or anyone who's listening, go back and listen to my entry. And you never heard me say anything about the beast or a national ID card. And if you have, I will chop my own head off. So here again, this wasn't the topic. I never mentioned anything about a national ID card and the mark of a chip of the beast. But I will do so now, since this gentleman who's in where are you at? In Pakistan? You're in Libya? Where you are, sir? Where are you at, sir?
Singapore, sir. How many times I have
you're
told
in,
you, sir?
Okay, you're in Singapore. Now,
yes.
Where did you hear me say anything about a national ID card and a chip of a beast?
You keep saying that globalism. You said globalism is going to control your life, is worth China and etc. China has the cameras. People have a national ID card in their wallet. You know. So you're saying that China is controlling their citizens and they send them to FEMA camps. You talk about the FEMA camps and etc. No, sir. It's absolutely wrong. I mean, yes.
Okay. I get you now.
Go ahead, sir.
I get you. Let me say this to you, and I want you to go listen to the tape of what you just put on an international public record, which is a lie. I'm telling you, you are taking what I put on the table, disregarding it, and you're bringing in your shit to try to make it like I am sounding an alarm against globalism. And, of course, my partner in time, Joe Gibson, tells you about the worldwide New World Order. We have two different philosophies, and here's why I disagree with you, because you lied on me. I never said what you said. There is no third party, ventriloquist interpreter negotiations. This is why I often say there'll be no silly-ass questions, because when agent provocateurs in Singapore or wherever you are come in and disregard the total eloquy of what was presented previously, you and only you is talking about national ID.
How do we address globalism, though? Globalism,
that's not my subject matter. That's on Thursday. On Thursday, you want to talk about globalism and all that stuff that he's talking about, you and Joe? Then you can do it. But
no, the People's Revolution. How does the People's Revolution?
Okay, listen, hey, Joe. If we have any other callers, I like to be cordial. I had a subject matter and a title.
Joseph,
in the times in which we live.
Joseph,
you don't talk about those in Singapore, sir. You have lied in international public record on me. And I can't engage in nothing else you said because you did not answer not one iota of what I put on the table. You brought in your own stuff and try to make it seem.
But hang on, Mandlelkhan, this does
go
to the issue, though. Hang on, Mandlelkhan, this does go to the issue, the People's Revolution. How do you address the People's Revolution when you're going globally? And because you said the Empire of Ethiopia, I don't know what that is, but you need to explain that maybe a little further. But how do we address the global community in the People's Revolution, the bloodless revolution that you're saying? I think that's what the caller is really getting at, trying to,
Joe. Hey, Joe, this is your production, and I grant you that. But you are interfering with the Ethiopian matriarch's affairs by letting this guy who lied on me. You know he lied on me. You know.
I think he missed. I don't think he lied. I think he misinterpreted what you had to say.
No, I mean, Joseph, my friend, this gentleman, Mandlelkhan, I don't know. He has so much esteem up that you cannot even talk with each other. Therefore,
you
it's
can't
not
lie
good,
on me, sir. So you can
listeners.
talk as long as you want. When you bring something to the table, you did not discuss nothing I brought up for a half hour. You brought your own thing. So, Joe, here's what we're going to do. We got other callers. You can come back in, keep his line open. This is not between me and you. Whatever you do in Singapore, that's a beautiful thing.
Hang on, you did have other callers that did press 1, but they kind of dropped. So,
so you're saying that there's no one else on the line. That's what you're saying.
That is pressing 1 right now. No, that's pressing 1. Are there other people on the line?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to allow you and this guy in Singapore to ask me.
So you say my name is Michael, and then you say this guy. You see the way you talk, you don't respect her. I mean, first you learn how to respect Mr. Joseph and how to respect his callers, and then we can have a chat. Until that time.
No. There you go again. Who the hell are you? Hold on again. I don't know you. I am associated with Joe Gibson more than you. You don't get the chance to set the criteria on me and his relationship. So don't try to make yourself his friend and make me his enemy. I resent what you're trying to do. Now, if you got anything to say, what do you think about, let me just question you, since you want to ask me some questions, because you didn't get it.
Well, actually, he hung up. So he's no longer on the call line. But to interpret what he's saying, because I understand the callers that called in previously. I know it might be off the topic of or simulating with the topic that you discussed for the first 30 minutes, but the Peoples Revolution is a topic here, and you talked about Mother Earth and the women, the sexual revolution, where women have been wronged, and that the birthright of the woman has been wronged, and therefore that the woman should be in charge. Correct? Am I right or wrong from what you said?
Absolutely correct. Politically, spiritually, morally, ethically, economically.
All right, so I was listening. So the woman should be in charge of the global community, basically. Is that? And we got another caller here. So, let's not ignore the caller.
Let me say this before the caller, because you didn't put it in perspective. Let me say the woman should be in charge of appropriations and allocations of Mother Earth's resources, not Mandlelkhan, not Joe Gibson, not Donald Trump, or Barack Obama. Is supposed to be in charge of appropriations, allocations of the budgets of the commodities. It is supposed to be the women, the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers, so that she can share the nutrients, so she can spread the allocations to the village, to the community, the commonwealth, to the sector which the people live. All proper administrations and authority must be the matriarchs, because we as men, we create.
Okay, let's agree with you. Let's agree with you there. Okay, let's agree with you there. All right. So the woman is in charge, but who elects this particular woman? Is there a one woman or?
Okay. Let me answer that. You have never, since George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, George Bush, the Kennedys, the Clintons, the Bushes, the Obamas, no one of us has ever elected anybody. They were selected. And in the process of the total recall, as we set up the committee of one on behalf of the committee of the whole, we will have the people's old world order, remembering what forgot. We did not shoot, pray, go to school, or vote any elected officials on behalf of the people. They were appointed by the people themselves because of their honesty, their ethics and morals and honor. And this is what I'm here to help you remember, that in this transition of power, we are going to appoint the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers who we know.
Well, let's take another call. Okay. Let's take another caller then, because I don't want them to wait on hold, because then they go away. So
absolutely.
The objective here. So, all right, go ahead, Meriden, Connecticut, who's probably being buried in a snowstorm right now. Go ahead.
No, the snowstorm was this morning. It's ice now. Inch thick of ice. But this is the Northeast. So what are you going to do? But Mandlelkhan, please don't fly off the handle, because I'm only.
It depends on how you interpret what fly off the handle is. I like to be cool, cordial, inviting, but the usual suspect.
Let me speak and have my opinion, and then you're free to wring my ass or do whatever you want to do, but don't get in there and start screaming at me, because it's just my opinion, and like an ass, everybody has one. So, but you're very intelligent, and I appreciate everything you have to say, and I enjoy listening to you. Sometimes you're very hard to follow because you talk in riddles and rhymes, but we figure it out, and that's okay. But this other gentleman that was here, he was talking about national ID cards and everything. You flew off the handle with that, but I wanted to comment something about that. But you're also talking about women, and I agree with you there. But what I want to know is who's going to teach these females, because let me tell you from firsthand experience right now, we have a 3-family house here right now, and we're redoing the porch from the ground up. I'm the one that brings these Mexican and South American workers coffee and breakfast every day. Their wife, who lives across the street, I haven't even seen her. I have 2 females that live in the house here with me. They don't bring them breakfast. I do it. And you know what? And they greatly appreciate it. So I agree with what you're saying, that they should be in charge. But you know what? Not with today's women, because they're too busy on their phones doing what they got to do to take care of the men or whatever else. Because we're not created equal. Because I agree on treating them as equals, and they should treat me as an equal. But men can do a lot of things that women can't do. But then again, women can do a lot of things that men can't do. So I agree with what you're saying, but you're going to appoint them. Don't appoint the grandmothers, because that would be a good thing. But the grandmothers don't have the energy or the enthusiasm anymore because of their age to take care of us. And because as men, we do need to be taken care of. But don't think the young ones are going to do it. So with this new bloodless revolution, it's going to be a long time coming, unless we change the way we live. And just to point out the national ID card, what the other gentleman was talking about, they've got that over in Europe. And just a quick note on that, I tried to do business with Germany the other day, and they wanted a copy of my passport or my international driver's license to do business with me, and I wouldn't send it to them. And that was the end of that deal. But I'm done with that. So Mandlelkhan, thank you very much for remaining mute there while I had my say, and continue on. Thank you.
No, don't go nowhere. Stay there, because you put some good things on the table, and we want to go in succession. I'm going to start the national ID card out, because I was talking about the FEMA camps and guillotines, which was never mentioned. I'm going to mention some more. I also was talking about the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers as the proper administrators. I didn't say grandmothers. You left out mothers and great-grandmothers. And don't you ever think that they don't remember the expertise and how they were restricted by all men, black and white, from having their freedom of expression in their mind, body, and soul. Unfortunately, we got Donald Trump's wife, who is a sexual beast, and that's a beautiful thing. That's why I can bring up what I'm saying and help you remember. And I have a right to talk to you this way, because you and I both know that out of all the presidents that was ever selected to sit in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in this illegal state of legislative, executive, and judicial branch in Washington, we have a woman that's equal to Michelle. And Michelle showed you the reality, but this woman, she's telling you about the sexual revolution, that it's free for a woman to exhibit her mind, body, and soul to the world, and no man, black or white, better not say anything about her sexuality. That's what the sexual revolution, and I'm going to have a program about that. The next program I'm going to do about the sexual revolution and tell you some really, really good things about that. And here's where you was talking about the Mexicans and so forth. When it comes to capitalism based on imperialism, every so-called business person in America, rather than hire Mandlelkhan or Shaka Zulu or Hannibal or Pancho Villa, they know I might want Malcolm X day off, Martin Luther King day off, I might want Marcus Garvey. They would pay, right? But a Mexican, even the White House, they hire domestic workers. That's because they can sneak them in and do the dirty work and don't have to pay me. If I might work for $15 an hour, a Mexican will work for $7 an hour. And you ain't going to get no health care program. They ain't going to get nothing. They're going to do what they told. And you might be able to have some sex with them. But when it comes to me and my people, we want reparations, 40 acres and a mule, and the big payback. So in hiring me, of course you would hire to clean your yard, to do your vegetation, do your farm, or to iron your clothes or whatever. Of course you want a Mexican. Because all 8 Mexicans going to get together and say, we're going to do it at $7 an hour. And 8 of Mandlelkhan's people are going to do it at $15 an hour. So figures don't lie and lies don't figure. It's a mathematical equation of capitalism.
Mandlelkhan, hang on. Let me answer
comment.
that. Why you said $15 an hour? Hang on. Hang on.
Let me comment on that too. I will.
Hey, Big Banger. Hey, Joe. You can get Big Banger when you want it. This is between me and Big Banger because you and him are buddies. You and Big Banger are buddies.
Hang on.
Okay,
hang on. Let me say what I'm going to say. The reason why they do it for $7 an hour, because they come over here and they get everything for free. They get the free credit cards, the free bank loans. They all live in one room, and they can go out and underbid anyone because Mandlelkhan's got to pay taxes,
because
get a
they are
business license.
And they love each other.
Yes, it is.
Let me have my say now. Let me have my say. Joe, you're right. They do get all of that. But let me tell you about
why do you hire them, Big Banger and Joe? Why do you hire them?
I'm trying to tell you. Let me tell you.
Let him explain.
I've commented before about Mexicans that live across the street from here that they're dirty, rotten, filthy, and noisy, and that's the truth. I live in a spot in Meriden where bullets fly.
White people are some nasty, no good bastards. White people are some.
Let him explain.
I live in a spot in Meriden, Connecticut here where bullets fly. We are basically the only white people on this street. But everybody knows me and knows us because we've been here for a number of decades anyway. And they all know us and they all respect us. And by us going out taking pictures of them doing drug deals and everything else and telling them to leave, we've cleaned up this neighborhood quite well. It's basically Southern Americans and Mexicans that live around here. What we did for our front porch is we put an ad in the newspaper months ago, and we had many American white gringos come, and they wouldn't even bid on the job. They wouldn't even bid on it. There were three or four of them that said they would send us a quote, and they didn't. And
but you don't like them. Why do you hire them?
Listen.
Can he finish, Mandlelkhan?
I didn't say I didn't like the Mexicans across the street. I commented on the way they interact with our society here. I didn't say I didn't like them. They are very nice people. They go to church and like that. I said they're noisy and dirty and filthy because that's their culture. And
you are nasty, dirty, and filthy, and you make money off of them. Okay? So don't play with me.
Those aren't the Mexicans I'm talking about. I said I live in a neighborhood that's filled with them. We're speaking about different people here. There are other Mexicans up the street that seen what we were doing, and they came over and talked to us. They didn't give us a $7 an hour job, but they didn't give us a $15 an hour job either. They gave us a $12 an hour job because that's what they wanted, and that's what we're paying them. And they're doing excellent quality work. And as I stipulated before, I bring them breakfast every morning. I give them homemade soda to take home. One gentleman has come here from Spain. He just about speaks English, and I interact with him, and we do the best we can. He's very polite. He's very polite to me. He says thank you, yes sir, no sir, and everything else, and I do the same to him. I have no hostility towards any of them, and the other ones that I call filthy and dirty is because they are. But there are many that aren't.
And so are many white people.
I agree.
Okay. Now let me get to something, Big Banger. The war on drugs. and the war on terrorism. Do you realize that 50 years, the war on drugs has taken away the international democratic rights of African, indigenous, Latin American people, the war on drugs? Do you realize that the war on terrorism, open-ended, that does not have no end, as long as the war on drugs and the war on terrorism is allowed to go forth, that it destroys African, Mexican, Colombian, Peruvian, Afghanis, Pakistanis, and Indians, and there is no war on drugs or a war on terrorism in the international European world. There is no bombs bursting in the air in the European world. Wait. Let me finish my statement.
England is one of the most crime-ridden countries right now because they took away the right to bear arms.
There are no jump-out squads, home invasions, nation invasions, carjacking, nation jacking because of the war on terrorism. As George Bush, Joe Gibson, in your colloquy in your beginning, we have to be against the war on terrorism. And they will hear from all of us very soon. Remember that, George Bush? Now, the war on terrorism.
But that's not just against everybody globally.
And
that's
the war on drugs
globally.
is against African and indigenous people. There are people in France, Germany, England that's smoking crack, shooting heroin, and there are no jump-out police to kill the people under the Eiffel Tower that they have the French cuisine.
I don't know about that.
Cocaine.
You know.
I know about that.
Well,
I know about that. And you know about that as well. That as we speak, when it comes to the war on terrorism and the war on drugs, African, Mexican, Bolivian, Colombian, Peruvian.
I don't know of any African terrorists that have been killed lately, but
are
mainly
the
Muslims.
terrorists as the white pharmaceuticals, the American Medical Association, the doctors who need these stimulants as they treat us in the pharmaceutical domain. We're talking about Dorvans, we're talking about barbiturates, we're talking about stimulants, we're talking about all these doctors behind the doors. They need these chemical composites that we call drugs. They're pharmaceuticals. So when it comes to the war on drugs, a 50-year failed experiment, no one is winning the war on drugs. Everybody loses.
Because there is no war, because it's a war on all the people. Who ships the cocaine and heroin into this country? It's the bankers.
The White House
and
is the rock house, and Uncle Sam is the pusher man. The White House is the rock house.
Wasn't it Nixon who took out the war on drugs?
And his wife said say no to drugs. But who is saying no to drugs today? I'm going to tell you right now.
Nancy Reagan said no to drugs.
Now, let me show you something right now to show you why I'm the baddest man to ever born in the United States of America. I don't know what you consume or induce in your system, but I induce and consume 100-proof Granddad, lemonade with on the rocks, most rocks, that's ice, not no crack, but most ice. I smoke marijuana. So I don't know what you consume, but I do know you go to a doctor, and your doctor gives you some pills, and because there's legal, illegal, control, and non-control, you're going to tell the African and the Afghanis and Pakistanis, you're going to tell us that our number one cash crop next to Juan Valdez, it's not the coffee, it's not Starbucks. Next to every coffee bean is the reefer. Next to every coffee bean is the cocoa leaf. And next to in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, and up there, next to every poppy seed, none of that is produced in European world or the so-called white world. How dare you dictate how commodities are going to be and what's legal and illegal or control or non-control, where none of these precious resources is in England, France, Germany, in Italy, or in Australia, or in Ireland. None of these precious tea and coffee is not even produced in England, in the European Union. But let cocoa and poppy seeds are produced where people of color live. How dare you, European illegal alien immigrant invaders, say what's legal and not legal when none of these commodities are in your sector of your mother country? How dare you say what's controlled or non-controlled as it relates to the war on drugs when no drugs, no commodities, no pharmaceuticals are in your sector? The only thing in Europe is the what they call them, the tulips in Holland and some steel in Germany. I want you, Big Banger, and you, Joe, tell me where any commodity that we sell, buy in this country is produced from the ground in Europe. Not rubber, not gold, not diamond, not silver, not
Actually,
oil.
well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now, actually, drugs are legal in several different countries in Europe. They're legal, and they do have marijuana factories in Sweden and Holland. I could look it up for you if you want to. There are factories
You
that
said
do grow it
marijuana.
there.
You said marijuana, and I agree with that. But I said now, let's go to some coffee, some cocoa, there's chocolate, and let's go to some tea. Let's go to some coltan that makes up every so-called...
It doesn't matter. I'm trying to answer your question. It doesn't matter what country grows what. The fact of the matter is that it's grown.
So if my country grows all that stuff, I should not
finish.
be persecuted by white power. I'm telling you. If my country, where me and my people live, I should not be persecuted by the minority, illegal alien European invader. I should not be persecuted in no court of law when I can prove and you can prove that there is no production, manufacturing, distribution of heroin or cocaine, the poppy seed, or chocolate, cocoa. Europe does not produce no chocolate.
The answer is this. It's shipped in. We know it's shipped in from other countries. We know it is, and there's no such thing as a war on drugs.
It's shipped in from African countries and shipped in from Arab countries. It's shipped in from Mexican and South American countries. There is nothing produced in Europe from cocoa to coffee.
So how does it end up in Europe
tea.
then? How does it end up in the United States? How does it end up in the United States?
Because of the ego and the Big Bang Theory and the war, where the commodities is not produced where y'all live at. You have a vacuum cleaner and a war machine to suck the shit out. You know how you got dirt all over the planet?
You know how you stop it? You know how you stop it, though? Stop using it. Don't use it.
No. You're going, no. We're going to use reefer. We're going to use cocaine. We're going to, in the African and the Arab world.
There's a demand for it. There's a demand for it. So therefore, it's like in China. China makes the television sets. There's a demand for it in America.
We're going to always have a demand. We're going to always have a demand, Joe. Where we come from, we're going to always have a demand. We're going to always have it. Y'all don't have it. You don't have it. White people don't have it. We're going to always have a demand. We're going to always have a demand. For millions of years, we had
already. Now, yep. All right, hang on. Can I finish, please? There's a demand for TVs in this country. China makes them, okay? It's called trade, and that's what they do, even if it's illegal. And it's a demand for alcohol in this country. They make alcohol in this country, so what's that mean? Who's going to be in charge of all these commodities? Some woman in Ethiopia? Is that what you're saying? I mean, well,
no. What I'm saying is, Joe, let me tell you what I'm saying. That the illegal alien European invaders, who I can prove cannot produce no commodity that people are going to have in their sector outside of the United States of America. They're going to have it for another 1,000 years. You don't have no jurisdiction to set up trade, to say what's legal, illegal.
Can I ask you a question? What commodity does Ethiopia produce? Anything?
Everything. You ever heard of coltan, bauxite? You ever heard of You know what
I don't know
coltan
of
is?
any trade with Ethiopia
Okay,
right
well, let me
now.
tell you what coltan is. Let me tell you what coltan is in the Congo. Let me tell you what coltan is.
When I talk about
Y'all
the
have
Congo,
your
we talk about
Facebook.
Ethiopia.
No, I'm talking about Ethiopia. Ethiopia was never conquered by the Europeans. Haile Selassie and Marcus Mosiah Garvey, y'all spoke of Ethiopia in your last book of the dead, the Bible, Torah, and the Quran. Ethiopia will stretch forth her hands and rule the world. And this is West Africa, Ethiopia. So don't get cute with me. But let me get back to the point. The point is that you and Big Banger and the other guy from Singapore, y'all took my whole shit and you tried to throw it in the trash. But I got you. And here's why I got you. I got you because coltan, there would be no Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. There would be no laptops, no notebooks, or computers without coltan. And there is no coltan
All right.
in the
Now let me ask you,
European world.
what's the solution? What's the solution? A woman in
We'll have a
Ethiopia
program
being
on
in
the
charge of the
solution.
world?
We will have a program
No,
about
I'm
that.
asking you now.
as we
We
go
got
forward.
48 minutes left. So you're telling me
Okay.
a woman in Ethiopia appointed by a committee, I don't know who this committee is, but appointed by a committee should be in charge of all the resources around the world. That's your revolution, and that's what you're telling me, and that's what's going to solve the problem around the world, correct?
Wrong, genius. Einstein. There is no third party. Okay, I'm giving you an answer. There's no third party between us and interpreter. That's your shit. You trying to make it like there's a woman in
No,
Ethiopia.
you said a committee. You said a committee by the people.
No.
A woman should be in charge.
I'm going to give you the American, based on the Constitution of America, the proper common law court. The common law court is the supreme law of this land. The committee of one is based on the committee of the whole. That's a political term
But who
for
appoints
black,
this
brown,
committee?
red, yellow,
Who's the
white, old,
committee?
young, gay, straight, white. What?
So who's the committee? Who's the committee? That's what I'm asking you. Who's the committee?
Based
That's
on
what I want to know.
Based on your emergency preparedness and what's going to happen in the future, in the spring
It's not
offensive.
based upon me.
Yes, it is.
It's not
It
based
is.
upon me.
Listen. Okay, well, let me give you my answer. The committee
I've been waiting for it.
is those who can help the people right now. There's no legislature.
Why should
in your
anybody help
local
the people?
government.
Hang on. People should help each other, I agree. So what you're saying is that the committee and the woman who runs Ethiopia that's going to be appointed by the committee is going to tell what people to help. And then she's going to be in charge of all the resources around the world, and she's going to make the decisions that if I need electricity, then she makes the decision. Is that what you're saying?
This is where you are speaking out of the east end of a horse's ass of the microplane. I didn't say nothing about you. Okay. I didn't say nothing about you. I said something about the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers. And that in this hardship crisis, the state of emergency in the United States of America, where the eagle lives, all mothers, black, brown, red, yellow, and white, old, young, gay, straight alike, take your place, moms. You are the proper administrators, not Big Banger, not Joe, not Mandlelkhan. Not Mandlelkhan, not Joe or Big Banger.
If my mother is in charge of anything, we're all in goddamn trouble.
We're in trouble if the majority of them take charge of anything.
Okay. Under the Masonic Order of the Patriarch, on which you and Big Bang are standing on, and the guy in Singapore, I agree with you. According to you, as you want to bring up your subjects, to try to twist what was put forth tonight as the Ethiopian Empire, which covers Ethiopia. Who is Ethiopia? Ethiopia did not disappear. Ethiopia is North, South, Central America. Ethiopia is Southeast Asia. Ethiopia is not the Middle East. There is no so-called Middle East. It's North Africa. Ethiopia is the whole continent of Africa. That's the Ethiopian Empire. So it's not one woman. It's all the women who can see that white men and black men have stole Mother Earth from them and try to make it black and white, but it's about wrong and right. And it's a good thing that Mandlelkhan came on the scene because he helped us remember what the fuck we forgot, right? So when it comes to Ethiopia, I dare anybody Google before the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean was named. If it don't say it was the Ethiopian Ocean, I will chop my own tongue and head off, and you'll never hear from me a goddamn again. But I dare you to do it. When you do it, you're going to see there ain't no such thing as the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean.
But that's history.
Pablo Alonso Nina led Christopher Columbus. Pablo Alonso Nina led Christopher Columbus to the Americas. Pablo Alonso Nina led Christopher Columbus to America. And Amerigo Vespucci was led here by other Moors, traitors to African people, just like the Hebrew Israelites, just like the Muslims, as we see today, that are executing my people in North Africa after Gaddafi.
Well, I don't know how you, Mandlelkhan, I don't know how you're going to have a peaceful revolution criticizing 2 billion Muslims and about 5 billion Christians. I don't know how you're going to have a peaceful revolution.
Okay, here's how we're going to have it. Here's how we're going to have it. I want you to lay the map of the world out. Figures don't lie, lies don't figure. It's a mathematical equation. I don't give a damn if you're all Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Muslims, Christians. You're a minority. There are over how many billions of people on planet Earth? 1.something billion are African. Number 2 are the Chinese, the next population. Number 3 are the Indians in India. Number 4 is the people south of Texas. Number 5, I don't give a damn if you're a Muslim, Hebrew Israelite, Moor, Muslim, or Christian. God is a beast, and God has created God. There would be no goddamn God without Goddess. She is from the universe to the universe, and I'm helping you remember what you forgot. So I'm only saying
the goddess. All right, the goddess is in charge of everything. And what do we call this goddess? Who the Ethiopian? What do we call this goddess?
Ethiopia. Class action 527.
How can a goddess be a country? How could a goddess be a country?
Same way the United States of America be a country. God, country, and your goddamn gun. You made up a country when y'all came over here with Amerigo Vespucci, led by Moors.
Actually, God is called Yahweh. Actually, God is called Yahweh.
Okay, I don't care if it's Yahweh, Buddha, Quetzalcoatl. I don't care if it's Yah.
No, I'm not talking about Buddha. I'm talking about the country of America.
But I'm talking about that because God is a God of the whole planet Earth. God is not under your criteria, under your micro plan. God is a God of the universe, right? God has created all gods. Now I'm gonna show you something. In your book,
he doesn't say God. No, he's not. He's not the universe. God is not the universe. God is of the heavens. The heavens. If you want to call it the universe, that's a man-made name.
Okay, under your jurisdiction, you wait till I kick your ass up on Thursday with all your so-called doctors, the doctors of Armageddon. Wait till I kick your ass on this. Wait till I kick your ass on this. In your books, y'all say Adam and Eve, right? And then you're going to say, well, if Adam and Eve, but we're going to say that Eve made Adam sin, you goddamn liar. Here's why I caught you. The Holy Trinity is not Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. If you go by your own criteria, you wiped out the Creator. It's the mother, father, and child. Mother created all fathers. There would be no God without Goddess. The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost under Adam.
Well, how did the mother create fathers without man? How did the goddess create a son or a father without man?
I'll tell you. Go back to the original 666, the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, which is protons, neutrons, and electrons. And the African black indigenous woman, she made the man. She was the one that said, let us make a man. She alone. There was no black man like Shaka, Hannibal, or Mandlelkhan on the planet Earth. It was her, and there were thousands of them, black as a skillet. And we could be as yellow as a banana or albino as an albino. The 666 was the original woman who said, let us. And there were thousands of them. Remember, if I help you remember, one time there was never 7 continents. All continents were connected as one. All continents was connected as one. And everyone was black as a skillet. They were all women. They had a penis and a vagina. And there was no man on the planet Earth. Then after the continental drift, and after the land mass broke away, then the ice age happened. Everyone who was black as a skillet got locked into the Ice Age, and there was the creation of the Neanderthal.
How did the goddess conceive to give birth to the son, the African indigenous, or the people and the thousands that were here?
Okay.
I mean,
Let me explain that
how
to
did
you.
she conceive?
Let me explain that to you.
Okay.
The celestial bodies are lining up in January 2019. The celestial bodies on the ground are lining up based on the stars, the moons, and the heavens. I'm a star in the ghetto who may never make Broadway, but that'll be okay. I don't care what the folks in Hollywood have to say. I'm going to keep on shining and keep on shining. Because when you look at the stars, the moon, the people are the stars, the moon is the mother, and the sun is me. God damn it. I'm helping you remember what you forgot. Here's where I got you with the Bible telling the Quran.
Let's get
Adam
back,
and Steve.
Let's get back to planet Earth. Let's get back to planet Earth, the Peoples Revolution.
Okay, Adam and Steve just came in the United States of America since Barack Hussein Obama. Now, from the cardinals, the bishops, the monsignors, the popes, from the pastors, those bastards, those senators, those ministers, from the imams, and everybody at the pulpits, those pimps in the pulpits. In those books, there's no such thing as same-sex marriage.
I need to smoke what you're smoking.
I'm smoking good marijuana. There is no such thing as transgender, same-sex marriage, or the Kardashians. Let me talk about the Kardashians right quick while I got time. Kris Kardashian is the beast lady boss. She's the best pimp in America because all her little prostitutes, they got to have an African man with a heat-seeking missile and a political economy. And then her husband, he just won Women of the Year. Who was that? Bruce Jenner, who won the Olympic decathlon. He's on Wheaties. He was on fucking Cheerios and shit, right? And all of a sudden, he said,
Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner.
Okay, his name is Bruce Jenner. Ain't no Caitlyn Jenner. All of a sudden, he said, look, I got my two little prostitutes coming after you, Chris, and then you following your other Kardashian daughters who, they little prostitutes. And he said, look, y'all making me irrelevant in my own house. He had to recreate himself and come out as a woman. Do you know that no good bastard won Woman of the Year? And all the African, Mexican, Puerto Rican women, all of the Haitian women.
Mandlelkhan, real quick, you know Caitlyn Jenner was on this show a couple of years ago, and then they put her on Howard Stern, how they made fun of this program. So I just wanted to pull
now the joke. Now see how you fucked up? You call him or her. You went with Barack Hussein Obama. He's not a fucking her. He could not have won Woman of the Year without good women sitting on the sidelines going against each other, trying to compete for a penis, right? And men are the minority. Women are 8-1. And if figures don't lie and lies don't figure, every woman can't have a husband because she's competing with her friend, her co-worker, her niece, her enemy. And every woman is competing for a good penis when there's just a few men around. That's why all the men who marry their women, they lie to them. Because they say, look, baby, I'm going to put this ring on your finger until death do us part. I will never part from you. I will never do anything wrong against you. But soon as the wedding veil is gone, they just came back from the motherfucking, whatever they call it, honeymoon, her niece, her enemy, or somebody is plotting to see how loyal this no-good bastard really is. But he know he lied to you. He know that he had no intentions of being true to the mothers, the grandmothers, the great-grandmothers are putting the gold and diamond oil and ring on her finger because he did not tell the truth. But the problem is with the women. Under incest and insex. Incest has to deal with the mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, great-grandmothers, great-grandfathers, aunts and uncles. Insex has to do with the cousins, nieces, sisters, and brothers. We are guilty of incest and insex. It started from the Roman Catholic Church and the Southern Baptist Church. Why do you think we can lie to each other? And today, the women and children can be raped. And the cardinals and bishops and monsignors, they haven't been persecuted like R. Kelly. They have not been persecuted like O.J. Simpson. They have not been persecuted like, Tupac Amaru Shakur, or this guy named the number one boxer, what's his name? Mike Tyson. But we know that Hugh Hefner, who ran the Bunny Club and all that shit, He had 16.
Well, Mike
and then
Tyson,
the Bible told the
Mike Tyson didn't treat his woman too much like a queen of the patriarch by beating her up and raping her. I mean, you know. I mean,
okay.
what does the goddess say
I'll
about
bring
that?
the nun. I'll bring the nuns to the table, and they'll tell you that there's not a cardinal bishop of Monsignor who was celibate. The nuns buried their abortions under the cathedrals. The nuns was raped. They was forced by the cardinals, bishops, and Monsignors, and the Pope knows that. I'll make the nuns come to this goddamn program. That's what I'm talking about, because I'm the voodoo child. And I see every single on the planet Earth under the matriarch. And y'all thought y'all got away. But nobody got away. Nobody got away. Nobody could escape their fate. You know, time don't exist. Color don't exist. It's not black or white. It's about wrong versus right. And it was wrong for a white man or a black man to use the Bible, Torah, the Quran under Hebrew, Israelite, Moor, Muslim, Christian, and make women their footstool, to kill them, to rape them, to tell them that you must put on the burqa, the hijab. You must cover yourself. You can't take your pussy and do what I did with my dick. I will kill your ass, woman, if you try to do what I did. And you, Big Banger, and me, we know we lied to the women that we said we loved in our first origin, or the first woman that we ever with. We said, look, baby, I love you. God damn, you some bread, you know, me and you forever. But look at what we did. Look at what we did. Don't play with me, because I'll help you remember what you forgot. So this is a beautiful thing, Joe. I'm telling you, man. Tyrone, the terrible, I know you and your little good bastards, you're listening. I know you're listening. I know you're listening.
Good for you, Mandlelkhan.
There are 10,000 BTRs all across this country. Can you imagine that vision? Us uniting, where if we watch radio and TV, FCC, Super Bowl of life, I don't give a fuck who win the Super Bowl. I don't care if Gladys Knight is going to sing. Cardi B say, fuck the government. Cardi B. And when I say I'm representing ribbons and vines, I'm from the hip-hop world. And hip-hop is the music that all the young people across the planet is uniting to. The only thing over hip-hop is religion. Not money, not pennies, not pussy. Hip-hop saved our lives because all the young people all over the world want to be like Biggie Small, Tupac, and Snoop Dogg. In every sector, even the Chinese, and even the Arabs, even the Mexicans. Everybody's rapping and doing shit, right? Other than that, if they either rapping or they piss in the pulpits. Religion is the number one swayer, not drugs and guns. I'm telling you. If people was on cocaine, heroin, and amphetamine, they know they're sick, and they know they need help. But people on the Bible, Torah, the Quran, they honestly think they get some spiritual nourishment. Why? Nothing is far from the truth. They did some funny shit that people with the Bible, Torah, the Quran, they say, look, I got a personal relationship with God, and I know I'm good, and I'm a good person. I'm ethical and moral. I got some repentance, and I can demonstrate some beneficence for the human family. Who in the hell with a Bible, Torah, the Quran in 2019, January 20th, and come to the pulpit program and say, look, Mandlelkhan, this is me, God, and God is love. I know what you're saying, but look, I got to fuck up everybody that don't believe what I believe. They don't have my opinion, don't feel like me. So I know what you said is right, but look, I got to keep where I'm at. Don't y'all understand, overstand, or understand? Everything is endless. We're born with everything to keep us free, safe, and equal. I'm telling you, if you put an African little child and a 1-year-old, an African Mexican, and an African white child, and put one bottle in the middle of the gym or in the middle of the bassinet, it don't matter what child gets to the bottle first. If the other two children cry, guess what the little children are going to do? That's why I'm Malachi, the children of the corn. Young people, don't kill none of the old. Please don't kill them. You can't do that. That's not right, people. Don't kill each other and don't kill the old people. But when young people get to the power, they're going to share based on their mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother because they know their grandmother mother and great-grandmother should have been treated that way. And they know today that without their mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, they really suffer. So what I'm saying to you right now, I want you to remember, I dare any of you to do an experiment and get a black child, get a Mexican child, and get a white child, and put one bottle in the middle of the bassinet, and make sure they're all hungry in the gym. I don't care who is the 100-yard dash or the $1,000 marathon. Whoever gets to the bottle first, the other one's hungry too, and they saw the bottle. Make sure all three of them see the bottle. It don't matter who gets to the bottle first, but what matters is what they do after they get their first drink. And you'll see that we all got to become children. That's why I'm Mandlelkhan, the children of the corn. And I demand the young people stop the killing and start healing. I demand the young people to stop the killing and start building. And I demand the elders who fell for insects and incest to go back and repent and tell the young people you're sorry. I demand you to do this. That's not a request. You go and beg for forgiveness for your transgressions that we say that Barack Obama brought in just a few years ago, that Donald Trump, who's saying, look, good cop, bad cop. Remember, Donald Trump didn't bring in Adam and Steve. It was Barack and saying Obama. And the books talk about Adam and Eve. All the books are dead. I'm the author of the story, how we get free, you and me. But why did Barack and Saint Obama bring in Adam and Steve? Transgender, same-sex marriage. And now we got to have 3 bathrooms. And that my children have to be taught how to give each other oral sex and sodomize each other from grade school when none of us are free. I'm going to tell you why all the other presidents said, let's keep it on down low. The cardinals, bishops, and my sister, look, don't ask, don't tell. Look, this is some shit we've been doing. We know we like NAMBLA, Man and Boy National Love Association. That's legal in America. If I don't open up my mouth, next year it'll be safe to have sex with pit bulls, sheep, horses, and donkeys. I'm telling you, bestiality is real because Europeans, they on the farm, down on the farm, Bob Evans, a country sausage, I'll be down. Every sheep know, every horse and every donkey know that down on the farm, there's some strange shit going on in Mandlelkhan. Why you bring this up? Where's the nuns at? Nuns, I need you to come into understand the sign of the times in which we live. Tell the truth, because you know how to expose and open up Pandora's box and broke the Da Vinci Code. What did I break up, nuns? You know that there's no celibate priests. They're all pimps in the pulpit, right? That's why they're not persecuted. But you know that under abortions, under the cathedrals, under the houses of worship, that many abortions happened and many of the children were aborted because they couldn't tell you that the nuns were raped. But the nuns would know they were raped. And I'm here to let them know it's time for them to do this. Speak truth to power. Only the truth can save us now, people. For those of us who are trying to cover up the traditional sins of the fathers at the expense of the mothers who produce all of us, when Mother Earth and her precious resources, there's plenty, there's abundance. Many people saying, well, we got too many people. We got to get rid of so many people. But that's not true. Mother Earth continues to produce her great yield. It's only in the hands of the minority of the few who has kept the resources and articles and assets. That's why I brought up the government shutdown. As they're showing you right now, the workers and poor peasants, look, we can say we ain't got no more funds. Okay, what are we going to do in the spring offensive? We're going to run out here and act stupid and act crazy and act like we don't know? Oh, of course not. So I'm an advanced scout, a vanguard on behalf of Live and Let Live. So we good. You know, we're really good. So, Joe, you, Big Bang, or anybody else got anything to say, man? Let's put something on the table because this is extraordinary.
Well, before we wrap up tonight's program, because we still got a little bit of time left, but I'm going to let you close out. So take a deep breath here real quick. Anybody who wants to call in at the number 657-383-0616, press the number 1. But Bitbanker, if you want to take a couple minutes to wrap up the show, and before you would do that, I just want to promote, again, Thursday's show. We're going to have Dr. Peter Ventura on. We're going to have someone from Washington State on who's a flat earth person, a Uranta guy that says the Bible's all wrong. There were books left out of it. And Dr. Peter Ventura is going to be on with some other pastors. to prove this individual wrong, and we're going to present some facts and see where the conversation leads us, but it's not going to be an argument. And then a caller also mentioned on the last show there about bringing his dad on, who lives in a convalescent home. That is yet to be seen. Hopefully we can get him on. He was an original supporter of the show before he went to a convalescent home in the state of Connecticut. He was down in Florida. That's Joe. He was one of the beginners of this show, one of the supporters from the original programs that we had. Hopefully we can get that program on, not this Thursday, but maybe Sunday or the following Thursday, and talk about the sanitariums that we have in this country called convalescent homes. I'm sure we'll get a good audience on that program. But Bitbanker, if you want to wrap up something here before Mandlelkhan gives his closing thoughts here, go right ahead.
I don't know what to say. I'm almost without words, but I will comment.
That's what I said to myself.
Yeah. And Mandlelkhan, I appreciate everything you say. Like I told you before, you're kind of hard to follow, but we get there. Now, when I first started off talking, one of those females I was talking about who lives in this household with me walked up. She didn't appreciate what I had to say, but it happens to be the truth. I go out there, I bring them coffee, I give them breakfast, and I make them feel at home. And you know what? Maybe they don't like it. So again, like I said, I don't disagree with Mandlelkhan. You know what? I'd like to put all the women in charge. That's right. You go right ahead. You handle everything, and you just tell me what to do, and I'll be happy to do it. You know what? It's a hell of a lot off my plate then when the roof starts leaking. Go right ahead. Let's see you get up there and you tar the roof. No kidding. But in any event, Mandlelkhan, yeah, you said something there. And we're talking about drugs and coming across the border. I don't have anything wrong with poppies. What I have wrong with drugs and everything, the way they're diluted and made into something else and made poisonous and all of that. But as far as the natural drugs go, coming from South America, Africa, wherever, I don't have a problem with it. We have a problem with it coming over the border because that's our laws. And the reason why they're against the stuff coming over the border is maybe it's more money for them. We don't know. We know we have a bunch of criminals in D.C. And we don't need to build a 2,000-mile wall. We need to be a 40-mile wall all around D.C. and fill it full of water, and we, the people, would be much better off. You brought up deoxyribonucleic acid, and you talked about photons and neutrons, and that's the first time I ever heard a comment like that. But that is the problem. You can't prove anything with science, because science can't prove anything. We don't know anything about DNA, really, let alone photons and neutrons. We think we do, but we don't, because there's so little that we do know. But as far as a bloodless revolution, that would be something that would probably be a good thing. And I don't know if I want to see it or not, but I'm hoping for the best. Go ahead.
Well, Bitbanker, real quick, as far as the female that didn't like what you were saying, this is what you should do. Tell her turn around, kick her in the ass, and let her fall down the stairs with her dogs, and tell her shut the hell up. Because I know they're wacky baddies there, and they shouldn't be walking up listening to your phone conversations anyway. So
that's
tell them go back,
yeah,
or tell them get.
I can't say that's not true, but everybody has their own agendas nowadays. It's all about me. We need instant gratification, and we all think we're doing as much as we possibly can. When in fact, the millennials and people, they really don't do anything anymore.
Well, no, and the wacky baddies there too. They really don't do anything in your residence either. All they do is they're radical liberal nonsense and all that crap. I've had discussions with them before, and there's no talking to them. Like I said, I felt like jumping off my seat one time when I was having a conversation with them, choking them out. So, but anyway, that's irrelevant. But like I said, they shouldn't be listening to your private conversations anyway. If I were you, the next chance you get, build a nice steel door. And ask permission before they enter. But anyway,
Mandlelkhan, I don't have anything to worry about.
Well, I know you don't have nothing to worry about, but it's still, they shouldn't be listening to your private conversations because that's dangerous. And I'm sure you don't sneak around listening to their private conversations. So, and if they're unhappy with you, then too bad. They were unhappy with you years ago. What happens when you left? Well, they were all crying for you to come back. Okay. So anyway, all right, Mandlelkhan. Okay, you could wrap up the program. I don't see any other buddy pressing the number 1 here. And like I said, Thursday we'll be doing the next show. The time maybe 7 or 8 p.m. And that's going to be an interesting show because we're going to be having guests on from the West Coast. Okay, so you got to remember they're about 3 hours behind us. So we may have to do it a little bit later, maybe 8 o'clock. We won't go any later than 9, I promise. But it's going to be interesting. But a lot of people from the West Coast are going to be listening and contributing to this program, which is going to be a great show. So Mandlelkhan, you've got 8. You've got about, actually it says 19, but you actually have 15 before they cut me off. So 15 minutes is yours. Go ahead.
I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you. In Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, I have mixed emotions about tonight because I know the commercial from the matriarch and Class Action Classic 7, there's a plethora of people who's listening from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, UK, University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo. Yet we've only heard my voice and a couple of others. That means 2 things. One, they're doing something else or they don't care. But we know those that's there, they do. And they're trying to learn what it is that they must do. So they want to be quiet and absorb what they can, or they, at this time, they feel overwhelmed. And what they might say, could say, they're going to say it on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, because every time I look at these social media platforms, it's a bunch of gibberish, and everybody got a whole bunch to say. But tonight, where I know there's a plethora of people from Joe Gibson's sector and from my sector who are online but did not push one. That's appalling, offensive, and reprehensible to me because there's no big I's, me, or little U's. How we get out of this depends on me and you. So your voice, as we say, lift every voice and sing. Your voice is just as important in mine as we speak truth to power. Silence is not golden. So if tomorrow I go to Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and you know I'm going to flood your pages, I'm going to flood your pages. I'm not a troll or a spammer. Those who have so much to say tomorrow as relates to the hardship, crisis, state of emergency, the Civil War, race war, martial law, everyone has a grievance. And most of all, you do be doing a lot of quibbling back and forth. Good man, bad man. White man, black man. Quibbling. No coming to a solution. Talk real solutions. Wallowing in vomit. Complaining. That's what wallowing in vomit is. You know, look, what shit is this, this, that, such. No. A paralysis of analysis. What is that? Everyone could tell you, well, here's how it happened. From the past, they did this, they did such and such, and how they did this. That's micro. On behalf of macro, is where do we go from here? That is why I am the voodoo child. The Ethiopian Empire's total recall, the African jack-o'-lantern, 69-year-old revolutionary. Some people say I should do comedy because just as I can make you cry and remember what you forgot, I can also make you laugh. That's a group of Joe Gibson and Big Banger, who you heard both of their voices more than mine, and they were amused, and they felt some comic relief. You know what I'm saying? Look, well, I don't know if what he's saying going to happen, but what they're really saying is that from my itinerary and where I see things, Mandlelkhan, I don't see what you see. But I'm here to listen to you, unlike Tyrone the Terrible and talk real shitty. Unlike. There are 10,000 BTRs in this country. There's Twitter, Instagram, social media, and Facebook. I'm organizing you in place. Bill Scott Heron said the revolution won't be televised. My voice, how do you think I can touch the untouchables? Because I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the king of Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg is my partner in time, and he knows that I'm here to destroy what the Confederate flag and the red, white, and blue stands for. After 6 years, I've never been put in Facebook prison. Never. Never will. And I'm here to destroy, pluck up, and root out. I'm not here to save the United States of America. That's why I'm the greatest man ever born in this country. Not because I have a longer penis, or I have a better SUV, or a Maserati, or I can climb the highest mountain, or lowest of the ocean, because of my brain. Brain matter. When I speak of 666, the books of the dead, Bible, Torah, Quran, under Hebrew Israelites, Muslims, and Christians, they told you stay away from 666. Stay away from Ethiopia. Stay away from the mystery system. DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Can you imagine and envision why I'm the greatest man on planet Earth? Because I'm a ninth grade student by social standards. I didn't go to no HBCUs, historical black colleges. I didn't go to Harvard and Yale like Barack and Michelle. How could it be that the greatest man, Muhammad Ali was the greatest, but I'm the latest? I'm like MC Hammer, can't touch this, too legit to quit. How could a ninth grade student spit this shit at you that sound like a rhyme or rap or poetry? Because hip-hop is the language on the ground. And on the ground, people cuss and fuss, and they do a little stuff. But in the elite, y'all say, well, look, Mandlelkhan, thank you so much for your beautiful and encouraging words. May the peace and the blessings of Almighty God, and may the history of past be the highlight of your life. I want to give thanks to Almighty God that we are able to be born and here together, unmolested, unhindered, and all of these beautiful languages. I'm from the streets, and if I can't cuss a little bit, I can't relate to you because I relate to the majority of people on the streets. I'm on the streets of the people under organized crime. And our thing, capiche, our thing is a way of life where we serve, protect, and love one another. John Gotti was right. Neil Dellacroce, who was not made the boss under Carlo Gambino, the greatest family of organized crime, where the FBI attacked them, and now the federal government is the organized criminals, and even John Gotti and Sammy Devano told you about the Zulus. I dare you to go look up John Gotti and look up Sammy Devano, the rat, who used the Zulus, and look up John Gotti's number one man, who knew that the Zulus was the part of the cartel and made peace with organized crime. Capiche? A la familia. A la familia means the rules that keeps us together. A la familia, African indigenous people. There are no more snitches, witches, and bitches. There are no more, as we call our friends in organized crime, who go on a venue with us, and they are called the person who goes with us are usually called a name which is our confidential informant or our constituency. So when it comes to organized crime, then there is no co-defendant. How could I go and rob a bank with Joe Gibson and Big Banger, and if I get away with the money, then all of a sudden Big Banger and Joe Gibson is a co-defendant? That's under the RICO statute of the federal government. And under the RICO law, that's what brought down the 5 crime families of the Sicilian mafia. Sicilians was over in Italy. Then there was the Cosmopolitans, which was John Gotti. But when the federal government authorized the RICO statute, that means that when you can prove that whoever was doing their thing on up to who was sitting in office, if you can prove under the RICO statute that the local, county, city, state, and federal government is the organized criminal, then you understand about the total recall of the Ethiopian matriarch while Mandlelkhan, the connector. Capiche? And I'm not Italian. But when it comes to language, I done told all of y'all, black, brown, red, yellow, white in this country, that you must speak more than English. If I said French, désolé, bonjour, s'il vous plaît, oui, oui, oui. Most of you black and white people don't know what the fuck I said. But if I said in Spanish, hola, señora, señorita, hablo español, hola, poquito, a los africanos. Many of you black and white people don't know what I said. If I said in Chinese that I don't want no dog food young or cat chow mein, and I said it in Chinese language, you don't know what I said. If I speak and I say, Imangu esanguvu yatu, lazima tutasenda balashaka. You don't know what I said. Oh, goddess of all creation, we will conquer without a doubt. So many of you 5% of people in America, and you 1%, only 0.1% of black people live in the United States of America. If you add everybody else, that's 5%. Most of y'all want to speak English, but if you ever make it outside this country, you better speak some French. You better speak some Spanish. You better speak some Chinese. You better speak some other dialects so that you can have safe passage in their municipality. If you go and then everybody say, well, look, I want to talk in English. They'll say, oh, yeah, and you're going to put a motherfucking wall up in America and you want to talk some English over here? Well, guess what? I got something for your ass. So it's demanded. This is not a request. I demand that you go back and speak the languages of the people of the planet Earth. Most people on the planet Earth do not speak English under the Creator. Most people on the planet under the Creator speak Chinese. They speak Indian. They speak Afrikanos.
And Mandlelkhan, they're going to cut me off in about 2 minutes. Mandlelkhan, they're going to cut me off.
Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to tell you in 30 seconds. 30 seconds, you get the final word. 30 seconds, you get the final word. If you go into African languages, there are over 1,000 African languages from the Congo to the Bongo. You understand me? And there's 54 nations over there, and some is Swahili. I speak a lot of that, so forth and so on. But what I'm saying to you is that the language of freedom, justice, and total independence is not in the English language. Much love, much respect to each and every one of you. We'll be on Thursday. Joe Gibson, take us home.
All right, thank you, Mandlelkhan, for an interesting show tonight. I appreciate it. We did have a number of callers, but like you said, we're competing with the NFL here tonight, and we know the zombies out there. They got to pay attention to who the NFL and the referees pick to win to go to the Super Bowl. But the Gladiator Roman Coliseum, so shame on them for not making their voice heard. Little do they know how much trouble they're really in, and it's coming real soon, So, but anyway, Thursday is probably going to be 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Like I said, I'm dealing with people, so just pay attention. I'll post it on Facebook and Twitter like I always do. I'll text message my friends out there, but I want to thank Mandlelkhan here before they cut me off. Thank you for a great show. We'll do it again, of course, in a couple weeks. So anyone, I just want to say good night to everybody, and they're cutting me off right now. I can see the end of episode coming up. So I always log in about 15 minutes early, so that's why the clock may say 5. But all right, everybody, good night. Take care. God bless.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Mandlelkhan.